Good evening. Welcome to Tranquility. In the last few episodes, we were witnessing how we all would love and like to lead a very comfortable and easy life. But yet, we are struggling to see how the monkey mind works.
That's true. I agree with you. However, the monkey mind can be trained through meditation.
We also discussed the importance of the heart, living by the heart, and meditating on the heart.
Today on the show, we have an esteemed panel of people who have been practicing heart-based meditation for quite some while now.
It will be interesting now to hear their experience and what they have to say. I would like to introduce you to Mr. Christian Dur, Mrs. Véronique Nicolai, Sepi de Safavi, and Jafar Al-Salman. Welcome to the show.
In the last few episodes, we have spoken about the advancement of technology and how much it has benefited us. But at the same time, it has enslaved us tremendously too.
According to a recent research survey from Global Web Index, an average online user spends more than 6 hours online, of which 1.72 hours per day are spent on the social media platforms. That is 28% of all online activity. A recent research done in the UK suggests that an average user picks up his smartphone more than 220 times a day. 4 out of 10 people have said that they feel lost without the smartphone. Many owners also confess to finding themselves using their phone without realizing they are doing so.
Yes, it's absolutely true. Technology has made a huge jump in the last 20 years. I remember when I started to study emails and mobile phones, it was just something very abnormal, very weird. And now we are used to technology in a way that we can fly everywhere within shortest time. We use our mobile phones, we play PlayStation, whatever. Technology has really a potential to connect us. But what I also discovered is, nowadays you go to a restaurant, for example, and everybody is like this on his mobile phone, and somehow this potential of connection, it has been replaced by a feeling of isolation. So I suppose that it's important to use technology in a way which gives us the benefit, which is connecting us and not isolating us.
I agree 100%. I feel the same way when I observe when I'm going out, you know, as you said, going for a lunch or going to just do anything. You notice people are interacting with their phone and not with the person they're even with. So you're out with your family or with your friends, but you're looking at your phone. And so that isolation, I think, is very real, and it is very addictive as well. Because in a way, we live in a time where we feel information is everything, and that's how you get your information. So in many ways, I think people feel obliged to be online and to be connected, but where to draw the line and how to manage the time so that it actually doesn't become a nuisance versus a tool in which you, as you said, you can get connected and be in touch with everyone. So the tool for me is one of the things why I like to talk about meditation in this respect, is that in fact you need a tool to help you get connected to yourself first. And that's, become aware, be present, be in the moment. And meditation in that way, I think is a good tool to just remind yourself that first we're human beings, and then the rest of it is just tools for everything else we do.
Very true.
You see, our mind is running like an autopilot. There is no switch on and switch off button. what to do.
Our minds are hopping from one thought to the other thought, just like the monkey is hopping from one branch to the other branch. Research suggests that an average man has between 500,000 to 700,000 thoughts a day. That is, between 35 to 48 thoughts go through the human mind every minute.
That clearly your mind is an important tool. This is something you need to survive in this world. But how to use it? And that's the critical point. And I like this analogy that a wonderful teacher once taught me about a horse and the rider. And if you think of the horse as the ego and the rider as your soul or your heart, think about it. If the horse is going to go wherever it wants to go and the rider is sitting there just going around where the horse wants to take it, you're not going to get to the location or the direction or the destination you're looking for or want to go. So the heart first needs to be there, deciding, and once that is in place and the heart clearly is communicating, the horse, which is the ego or the mind, becomes the tool for you to achieve that which you're trying to do or achieve. So clearly a very, very important tool, but just exactly how you regulate it, how you train it, how you sharpen it. I like your analogy a lot. And that's the critical part. And there are lots of practices to do that, but I think it's just in our modern day life, a lot of people don't pay attention to actually how the mind is functioning and driving them. So, finding tools to bring that awareness to yourself is going to be very important.
That's a very good point. For me, I have been reflecting on the resources of the body and of the mind. And it is so obvious that our body has very limited resources. Even if you look at, let us say, Usain Bolt, who is the fastest man in the world, he will not become faster than a cheetah, for example. So we are really limited in the physical realm. But the mind can fly. It is unlimited. We have one thought and we are going to the moon. Stephen Hawking, who cannot move, who is completely paralyzed, who is not able even to lift a glass of water. He is discovering different universes, the black hole. He is so much, his mind is flying in spaces where we can just dream of as, let us say, normal human beings who don't have this openness or opening what he has. So for me, the mind is something really amazing, something which can make us go so far, much further than our body can.
While the mind is a dangerous master, it can be a good friend. Provided it is well regulated, then it can help us in our progress and evolution.
Meditation, it's a boon. Help us to regulate our inner harmony and make us more centered. And we can lead a more balanced life.
Meditation is to think about one thing continuously, without a break if possible. It is a complete thought. What is this complete thought? The idea of meditation being a complete thought can be compared to the process of digging a well. We go on digging until we find water. This implies holding on to a single idea continuously for a while. When we dig a well, what happens? Initially, some rocks and rubbish come out, then perhaps some old buried things come out, then some layers of rock come out. Then comes sand, and finally comes water. In the process of meditation, too, we find that many things come to the surface before the essential thing is found. For this, we require patience. We require effort, and of course, we require time.
Tranquility, brought to you by Sahaj Mug.
So, about meditation being so ancient, I'm from a Christian background, raised and born, and meditation was kind of a strange thing. I didn't know what it was, and I had actually no clue how it worked. And when I started, I actually discovered that the mystics, Christian mystics, have been meditating. Jesus was meditating. So it was very interesting to actually find out that it was a tool that in all religions they've been using. And it was not at all foreign to, what I've learned before.
Yeah, since the beginning of creation, people have been searching for God. And for that, they used to wonder that creation already existed and they wanted to know the secrets. So they used wonder and intuition.
Yeah.
That process brought the mind gradually to a relaxed and quiet, silent state, which is unconsciously they fall into meditation. They silence the mind and then they go beyond the mind, beyond the ego, and wait for revelation to come. They wait for the answers that way. And this is why, meditation is as old as the creation.
And it's universal.
It's universal.
It's not only,
It has been called by different names. If you dig beneath the shells of all religions, Christianity, Islam, or Hinduism, Buddhism, you will find that meditation at its essence.
Yes.
The few elect, they used to use it to get answers at least.
So now it's all over the world, everywhere you
Yeah.
find on Google, everywhere that
Yes.
meditation is great for everybody. But it's nice that it's shared.
Yes.
Really happy.
You have to transcend, meditation happens when you silence the mind, when the mind becomes silence, and then thereby you transcend the mind, because the mind itself cannot take you beyond mind. The ego cannot take you beyond ego. As long as you are entangled in the domain of mind and ego, you will not be able to meditate. So this is where, when you transcend them, you leave the mind and you seek refuge in the heart, as heartfulness meditation advises you. Not to avoid struggling with the mind, you seek refuge in the heart. So that's how it happens.
Just as we open the lid of a pressure cooker, all the steam comes up in one go. During meditation, all the thoughts which were at the back of our minds surface up. It is not that the thoughts did not exist. It is just that our conscious attention was not there. Like a moving fan in a room, we do not hear it when people are there in the room. When the room becomes silent, the noise of the moving fan strikes you. Similarly, in meditation, in the portal of silence, we become aware of the chatter in our mind.
In my humble opinion, actually meditation can take you beyond your expectation. Even if you start with simple goals, meditation will lead you to higher goals. Goals are normally something which is higher than oneself, something that you cannot attain in your current position. But once you attain them, then you have to seek higher goals to avoid stagnation. Otherwise, you will be stuck in that. Now, meditation, I assure you, it will pave the way for you to continue your progress. And this is my, if there is something wrong, then there may be a flaw in our practice, as you have mentioned.
So you need the right tool and the right intention.
Yes. There are a few people who meditated and it did help them. But in some point it didn't totally satisfy their expectation. They were expecting more from the meditation that they were doing.
So, what do we do to ensure that our meditation is effective?
I think it's really important to have a purpose and a keen interest. And when I look back, when I started meditation, my purpose was maybe different than it is now. In the beginning, I was kind of stressed person, so I felt I absolutely want to have peace, inner peace. So my interest was to fulfill this purpose, to reach this inner peace. And I can just say that when I have a very clear picture of what I would like to achieve with meditation, and I sit down in this attitude, it works much better. But there's a tricky thing also behind. Meditation does not mean concentration. It's really you relax. And it can also have a counter effect if you try too much to reach this purpose.
Yeah.
So it's kind of letting go and having the purpose at the same time. And then of course in course of time the purpose also changes. I would say that now it's not anymore peace what I'm really looking for. It is more connected to the soul, and it has changed. But it doesn't matter how you start. It is important to have a purpose and a keen interest to fulfill this purpose. What do you think?
Yeah, so practically, this idea of not concentrating. So I have tried a little thing that was very simple, is just to tell what I discovered for myself. I tell to people who want to start, and I say just to try to go in with this idea of joy. Because when you go with joy inside, you don't concentrate, you don't try to concentrate, you don't put force. You have this idea of openness, and you also immediately connect to the heart, which is our heartfulness meditation now, because the joy comes from here. So you kind of bypass the mind, and you have a very simple step to try to go in the right direction. I think it really helps to go with that. It helped me. I think it has helped people to start also.
Tranquility, brought to you by Sahaj Magh.
It is quite natural for our minds to flit away due to thoughts. When we start practicing heartfulness meditation, this is a transitory stage of meditation. With practice, we realize that we get better at finding inner tranquility. One way to deal with thoughts is to treat them as if they are someone else's thoughts, and thus create a distance between ourselves and these thoughts. Haven't we all experienced a time when someone kept bothering us, no matter how much we asked them to leave us alone? We may have even tried telling them to stop doing so, and notice that they would react and argue, or only find further reason to bother us even more. And then we perhaps discovered that ignoring them was the best manner to deal with them. They soon got the message, finally gave up, and left us alone. Well, that works with thoughts as well. If we pay any attention to them, we get involved with them and cannot get rid of them. The trick is to gently detach our mind, ignore the thoughts, and bring back the focus to the original idea we began our meditation with.
So it was very interesting to read when there's so many research now that are showing that meditation is actually a great help in so many ways. But it was very interesting to read that actually long-term meditators, the duration in the cortex, the number of duration is increasing, and it's related to concentration, thought process, and things like that. And that was actually my experience. When I started, I was doing my medical studies, and I thought, how am I going to take 1 hour to meditate in the morning when I don't have enough time to already study? And I actually realized, and I've seen many students who come and say is it going to help me in concentration, you know? And although we are not concentrating, it's actually a side effect, a byproduct, you know. And so many, and that's what I was doing. I was sitting on the table for 3 hours. How much was I really working? That was like maybe half an hour, really speaking, you know. So, and I realized that starting meditation at that time, during my studies, was an excellent thing to do, to actually being more, to actually have concentration. And so I was happy to read that now it's very clearly proven by research. It has much more effects. I know you want to add something to that.
Yeah, actually, what comes to my mind is we have been talking beforehand about these feelings of isolation. I think when we were talking about the modern times and technology. And actually, what is the contrary feeling of isolation? It's feeling connected. And for me, I can just say the first thing happened with this meditation is that I felt more connected inside. And you know, there is an amazing scientific research from someone at Stanford University. She made a research about feeling connected and feeling isolated. And actually, her result was that when we feel isolated, it is much more unhealthy than feeling connected and you smoke, for example, or you have a little bit overweight, or you have high blood pressure. The result was that if you feel isolated, you can lead a very healthy life. Go for jogging every day, fitness studio, organic food, things like this, but your life expectancy risks to be less than if you have these diseases of blood pressure, diabetes, or whatever, and you feel connected inside. And okay, then I thought, yeah, but it's this feeling of connectedness, it must relate to the number of friends or something like that. But it's not at all this. You can have one friend or no friend and feel connected. This loneliness in crowd or isolation in crowd, it's a term which describes that you have a lot of people around you, but still you feel isolated. So actually, what is meditation doing to us? In the moment where we close our eyes, we have no contact to the outside world, but still this feeling of connectedness develops more and more.
We do experience it.
The biggest loneliness is what you suffer under the tyranny of the ego and the mind. Because it separates you from the universe. When you free yourself from the mind and the ego, then you feel the totality, that you are one with the universe, you are one with creation. You know, then the feeling of joy and happiness, it's like somebody who has been lost and find their home again. Then you feel that you have returned, you know. So therefore, meditation tells you, leave the mind, leave the ego, and try to go beyond.
I like what you said in the morning, you know. You were saying that don't try to be unified outside. First, unite with yourself.
Exactly.
And, you know, I mean.
It's inner, you know. We have been accustomed to blame everything on the external world. You know, meditation says, look inside, you know, for the secret of the universe lies within.
There's a funny thing, you know, with this technology that we were discussing with Christian, that it's all about sharing and being connected. And it's kind of very superficial because you actually you're not able to sit anymore with yourself. So you're disconnected with yourself and try to connect outside. So it's a very strange way of trying to be connected, no?
Yes. Now this is the new age, you know, but a lot of the new generation are quite aware of this, and they are working for the betterment of their lives. You know, you'll be amazed to see a lot of youngsters, you know, who are researching and wanting to know more about spirituality, about meditation, about yogas, about Sufism, about all the things that guide them to the secret of their existence. And I tell you, they are much smarter than us, than the older generation.
And it's so beautiful that it is more and more backed up by science. No? That what we experience inside is kind of confirmed by scientific theses, and it's amazing what happens right now.
That's the inner chemistry, is a big science in itself. Like how you deal with your existence, how you deal with your thoughts. It is science.
That's also what I really like about meditation, that it's not about believing something. It's not like I have to believe that meditation works, or I just try it out and see what are the effects.
It works for me.
If it works for me.
It works for me.
We would like to invite you again in some more panel discussions, and enjoy your presence into the studio. Thank you very much.
See you all, same time, same day, next week.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Tranquility, brought to you by Sahaj Mug.